Dad, and what memory you had with him?
Now, back when I was a little kid, back in high school, Kalili was brought on to take care of some of us knuckleheads that were in the youth conference, and he was brought on specifically for a group of men that usually were out in, rousing up the place in BYU, in Laie, and mostly because this was a church event, youth conference back in those days. There was a testimony meeting at the end of our weekend of youth conference back in 1981.
Guys were boys.
Huh?
You guys were boys.
We were boys, young men, rather, young men. I like that. And
Like 14, 15?
we were 16 years old. We were seniors in high school, and a group of guys from Haula and Laie by the names of Frank Afemata, Micho Afalava, Elvis Matagi, Tawesi Tapsoa, Norman Butel, that was part of this youth conference, as well as Clarence Alapa, and several more. Kalili was brought on for that specific group that were kind of knuckleheads, and tried to make sure that we kept things calm within the youth conference because we're young kids and we're very energized at the time. And we weren't listening to our parents, and because of our athletic and our size, we were just becoming rebels with a cause. Well, when Kalili came aboard, his primary goal was to keep us in line, and he did great for the whole week up until a Sunday. I remember real well when we had the youth conference testimony meeting, and Elvis had gone up to bear his testimony, and the rest of the boys decided to go outside on their bicycles and interrupt my testimony by swearing. And they took off down Yosepa Street, and within a second after they were swearing and yelling and interrupting the whole congregation began laughing because they heard these guys in the back, and not knowing who it was, but I seen Kalili take off. Now, Kalili was a very in-shape person, and that's why I respect him when I see him to this day, because he was a weightlifter, he was a rugby player, he was a quiet guy, but he managed to put a lot of thought in our heads as when he was around, we didn't want to anger him or mess around. Well, we didn't see Kalili at the time. I don't think they knew that he was there. But as I saw him run from the Stake Center down the road, he managed to catch up with these guys on the bicycles. And he kind of made it sure that these guys would not swear during the rest of the testimony meeting or cause any disruptions, because he was able to run them down on the bicycles, and he caught up with them. And somehow his hands began to squeeze around some of the extremities of these individuals, and some of their eyes turned red and were ready to pop. And as he shook them, from what I understood, we never ever became knuckleheads when Kalili was around. Kalili was one of the formidable athletes over there, and like I said, to this day, I never forget that man. He still brings a lot of joy and still brings a lot of comfort, but I remember how scared we were of him and how he straightened us out. To this day, he still looks the same. He still is Kalili, and he still brings terror to my heart every time I see him. But even though in his old age, I love that man, but I never forget those guys, how they came and told me the story about Kalili would catch up with us, But we never knew he was over there. We never think he was over there at the chapel. And I just saw him dart out and, what happened? So they even grab us and shake us over there. We thought we was going make after that. Well, Kalili never did tell our parents about it. And that's why we love him so much, because after that shaken baby syndrome that he gave them, he never went over and told on our parents, and we respect and love them to this day because of that incident. Love you, Kalili. I know you're knuckleheads. We love you for watching over us to this day. Your name still brings a lot of fear into our hearts, but a lot of love and laughter as well, as we have all aged together. I know you're 75, but when I get to that age, I wish I looked just like you, my man. It was a pleasure knowing you. It was always great to see you. I love you, Kalili. Laie boys for life. Don't kill us.
What year was that?